cube in Sochi, Russia. The Pipers of Scotland heighten the prestige of the event as they prepare the players and the fans for this round robin. Inside the ice cube, beautiful curling ice as we look at the rings, the circles of ice. The ice cube, one of a cluster of new venues inside of the Olympic Park, just a few hundred yards from the Black Sea. There's the recent excitement for the Olympic curling, and now the venue hosts the medal sport Paralympic wheelchair curling. 10 countries qualified to play in Paralympic curling, and this initial round robin determines the top 4 countries advancing to the playoffs. We look at the standings. Canada and Slovakia undefeated. Russia, Great Britain with one loss. China, Norway in the loss column with 2. Korea, Sweden, and the USA 3 losses. And Finland still winless, 0-4. They're the 10 countries that qualified into Paralympic curling, and they play in the initial round robin, determining the top 4 countries advancing to the playoffs. If you've never seen curling before, you're sure to fall in love with this sport. The great strategy and shot making inside of the ice cube. 3,000 seats. 4 sheets of curling ice. We introduce the teams. From Russia, the lead, Alex Shevchenko. The second, Oksana Shlerenko. Playing at third, Marit Romanov. And the skipper of Russia, Andrei Smirnov from Yekaterinburg. And this team is the 2012 world champions in wheelchair curling. They won that championship in Korea. So they can definitely play. Great team, and with their record of 3-1, they've been full marks so far. And they have huge support from their fans. They'll play against the USA today. Dave Palmer is the lead, the regular third, but playing lead in this game. At second, birthday girl Penny Greeley. Jimmy Joseph moving up to third for this game, and the skip, Patrick McDonald from Madison, Wisconsin. And the USA, with a record of 1 win and 3 losses, will look to improve on that in this match. And their third, their alternate, Megan Lino, played in 1 match for them. There's been excitement throughout the arena. Paralympic curling. The players head out onto the ice. Some lineup changes for both teams. And Russia just trying to strengthen what they're doing, and the USA looking for some magic with their combination. Well, we've already had the customary handshakes between the teams. And the USA is taking a moment to group and have a little meeting. Smirnov heading down the ice already. He leads all skips in percentages, and #1 out of the 10 countries, and obviously that's the reason why they're 3-1. And obviously, as world champions in 2012, this is a very strong Russian side. USA won the draw to the button. They will get the advantage of last stone in this opening end. Russia will begin play with the first rock. They'll play the 8 red stones. The lead player for Russia, Alexander Shevchenko from Moscow. And this team is in its first Paralympics. Been in 3 world championships, and of course, as I mentioned, they won the gold medal in 2012 in Korea. Nice weight and top 4 foot for Alexander. USA will play ahead on it. And as we mentioned, the Russian skipped the topping percentages. In the third position, the U.S. just hasn't been able to find the magic. At the third position, they're in 10th overall in percentages. They just have not been able to get a big game out of the third position. Palmer, their normal third, is playing lead in this match. Not happy with that. Accidentally got the wrong handle through the in turn rather than the out turn, and just on the release with the stick, didn't quite work out for him. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of practice to get that turn perfectly on. Russian skip, Andrei Smirnov, 40 years old, from Yekaterinburg, Russia. He's played in 7 worlds before. Alexander Sharenko, 42, an engineer for Baltic Naval. Nice weight, beautiful control of weight. Both stones into the rings. For a better result, this shot here from David Palmer.
Yeah.
Dave, 53-year-old from Mashpee, Massachusetts, works in the public school system there. It's his first Paralympics. He's played in 2 previous Worlds. World Championships, that is. Wheelchair curling.
Very nice.
Ah, better this time. The hit and a stay. Nice shot by Dave. Lots of USA fans here cheering on their side. But of course, Russia, the host country, has a large contingent of fans in the arena, and we'll hear them loudly during this match. Let's meet the second player for Team Russia. Oksana Shlerenko. The player can throw with the hand or with the stick, and all players in this competition prefer to use the stick. They can get more power and accuracy. And there's a hard throw from Oksana. Ooh, just zips right by. Wow, she threw a lot of speed on that stone. That's one of the hardest I've seen thrown in the whole competition.
Penny, I wouldn't mind rubbing. Okay.
Let's meet the birthday girl, Penny Greeley of
7A.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. Turned 43 years old today. Her first Paralympics. She has previously played in 3 World Championships. She won a bronze in 2004 in Paralympic sitting volleyball in Athens. But just to play a little captain on her own stone, not remove it entirely from the rings. Let's stay. Well, might be biting. Looks like it's still just hanging on at the very back by a what we'd call a nibbler.
Спокойно.
Let's see if the skip Andre asks for a little bit less speed, a little less weight this time. When I refer to weight, I mean that's the amount of force thrown on a stone. It's a very old term in curling, the weight, used for many years. So this one she's throwing it pretty hard too, a little bit less line. Gets the chip out. Rolls out herself. She can throw with a lot of muscle. Skip Patrick directing the play for his team, asking for an out-turn takeout. That'll be from the stick of Penny Greeley. When she first tried curling in Green Bay, she went down to the club and really enjoyed it, and that club is only 2 blocks away from Lambeau Field, the home of the Green Bay Packers NFL team. Right through the hole. Penny just a little wide on that takeout. A little wide, I mean, just a little bit outside the broom target she was throwing at. And this ice running pretty straight so far. A day ago, the players were all talking about how there was too much curl, and all of the misses so far have been to the inside. Pardon me, have been to the outside. Ice perhaps straightening up a bit. Andre running his stopwatch. Meet the third for Russia, Marat Romanov. Marat, 43 years old, from Chelyabinsk in Russia. Has played in 4 previous World Championships. Just nestles down, and that will probably remove that yellow entirely from play now. See if it's taken off by the official.
Want to take a look? Looks out.
We'll just look and see if that stone is entirely out of play. The 2 skips agree, yes, they don't have to call the official. The 2 skips agree, so they take it out of play. Very sportsmanlike. Skip Patrick McDonald just sliding over a bit. Holding the room for Jimmy Joseph, the 3rd player today for the USA side, 51-year-old from New Hartford in New York. Nicknamed Jimmy Jam. It's his 3rd Paralympics, and he has played in 7 previous World Championships. Oh, that's a nice freeze to the back stone. Just a tiny tap. That Russian stone will now work against Russia as they will have difficulty removing that stone belonging to the USA. Marat Romanov with his last stone of this first end. 4 players per team. They each throw 2 stones every end, so 8. Russia's throwing the 8 red. After the 16 stones of the end have been played, we'll see who counts, and that'll be the team with the most stones closer to the center than the other team's best one. Oh, and we're not getting the big curl so far that we have had during the event. That stone also running quite straight. Well, the first break of the game here for USA, and the fact they can lie too with a nice draw.
Let's go here.
Russia has the advantage of last stone. Jimmy Joseph, the jam man as he's known, playing pretty good numbers. Good high percentage for him so far in the event, and he sneaked by. Well, that one finally we saw some curl. We'll tap it, but not quite enough to be shot stone. Almost had the perfect weight, did Jimmy? Russia just talking over the amount of ice. This ice running a little bit straighter than what it has in the previous games. We've seen about 4 feet of curl in all of the spots. And Russia playing very fine in this round robin so far with a record of 3-1. They beat China 5-4, or lost to Canada 5-4, and Canada's defending gold medalists. They beat Finland 7-4 and Korea 7-5. They scored 23 points and only given up 18, so they are a +5. Very strong, and they won the 2012 World Championship in Chuncheon in Korea. So they definitely are a force to be reckoned with. Skip Andrei Smirnov, 40 years old, from Yekaterinburg in Russia. 59% so far, the very top amongst the 10 skips in this event. He has been doing a lot of the damage himself, making a lot of fine skip stones. And here's another good one. The fans love that throw. The fans go wild. As Andre said about the crowd, hometown crowd cheering, he says, I was caught off guard at first. It was very unexpected. But after a while, my ears adjusted and I accepted it as support. It has been all that way. And almost buried about half of that one in behind. And now vice skip. Jimmy Joseph will hold the target broom. For skip Patrick McDonald, looks like he's expecting a little over 2 feet of curl.
2 feet through the house weight.
Yeah, about 2 feet. Patrick McDonald, a 46-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is known as the fitness capital of the USA.
In the 8, and that's where it stopped. There you go.
In wheelchair curling, certainly some differences
Just do it.
from regular able-bodied curling. There's no hack thrown from the wheelchairs, delivered from between the house area and the hog line. The player can help to brace the chair. Patrick McDonald, 40% so far, below his average. Hence his team only 1 and 3 so far. Needs to sneak by. Just a little lack of weight there. He won enough weight to move that stone right out. He rubs on the guard, and his own guard in the top ring. And he may have moved Russia into the line too. It's very close. It looks like Russia has
I thought I had enough.
the 2 best counters.
That felt good.
Right now they're lying two as the front end for Russia looks on.
Два лучше. Так, давай. Так, вспоминаем. Сашка на какую кидал? На 11. На 11. В него пришел Тилайн. Чуть-чуть, да.
Я же 2 бросал по траектории. Сейчас где-то в районе 14.
I'm a little surprised here that Russia isn't going over the other side of the sheet and playing the outturn draw. That would really take away the other side of the sheet as well. They could even bury in behind there. Looks like they're playing the in-turn tap-up. Not a bad shot if it's made. Target room and stopwatch out there as well for the third Merritt Romanov.
Может, чуть-чуть судить, но не критично.
Марат, чуть-чуть поуже.
Вот так вот. Ага.
Now, this is indeed different. This is the first player I've seen in the competition throwing without anyone bracing the chair from behind. Must be very confident on his own. I would think for maybe hard to throw in hits, and there the chair moved just a little bit for him. The player must throw within the lines along the center line. With a little bit of slippage. Stone won't make the hog line at the far end, so the official will come and remove that from play. It must get over the line. I don't quite understand why there was no one holding the chair for him there and bracing. Obviously, he can throw with a little more power.
Что-то маленькое это.
Most interesting.
Маленькое это. Два лучше. Уже хорошо.
Well, the USA with the advantage of last stone in this end. Looking at 2 counters, it looks like Russia has the 2 closer to the center button than the USA's best one, so they're lying 2.
No. Tight.
And the way you score in curlings, it's the number of stones to which you have closer
Run the yellow.
to the center pin at the button than
Go right
the
through
other
that hole
team's
with an
best
in-turn.
stone that count, and only
If you
one team can
crash,
count per end.
Gonna give up
Right
a
now
dose.
it's Russia lying 2 with the potential to count 2.
If I get through the hole, shooter's sticking.
Jam back in.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Think I
USA
can get through that
talking it over.
Or you can.
Okay,
got
what
the
about the
tab
run
back.
back of the front one?
No, the red one overlaps. You want to
No, the center one.
the center one with what kind? With what kind of weight? With what kind of weight?
And Penny will brace the chair for Skip Patrick. He will play a raise on his own stone right at the top of the rings. And the USA with a record of 1 and 3 in their game so far. Definitely need something good to happen for them.
Curl.
Plenty of weight now. Will it curl enough? Over curls just a little bit. Go too far. It's Russia, and you can hear the fans going crazy. Russia will count 2, 1 in the 4-foot, and the one just off the 8-foot is better than the yellows. So Russia had the 2 best stones in the rings, and they'll count 2 in this opening end of play. They steal 2 on the USA. So after that first end of play, Russia leads it by a score of 2-0. well played in by Russia, although they missed some early takeouts, but the ice was quite straight. And this ice cube, one of a cluster of venues inside Olympic Park, just a few hundred yards from the Black Sea. Of course, this was the recent site for an excitement for the Olympic curling, which finished just a couple weeks ago. And now it hosts Paralympic wheelchair curling. There are 4 sheets of ice, so the fans get to watch 4 matches at one time. But our focus today is on this game between Russia and the USA. 4 players aside, 8 stones. 8 ends of play. Each team started with 68 minutes on their clock. The Russian clock will be running right now. The clock stops between ends, but would be running right now as Russia plays their stone. Once their stone is completed and stopped, the USA clock will start up. And once again for the USA, off to a rough start. And that's sort of been their MO in the game so far. The first match against Slovakia, they gave up 2, and the next match against Korea was a steal of 3. They haven't been able to play real good from the start of the game. They've been playing catch-up most of the time. Of course, wheelchair curling and regular able-bodied curling have numerous similarities, but there are some unique differences. And we mentioned stone being released not from the half, but out to between the host and ends. And of course, the absence of sweeping. And without that sweeping, being able to straighten the line and take a stone about 5 or 10 feet further by warming the path. With no sweeping, these players have to be much more accurate, right out of the hand or right off the stick. Russia is ranked number 6 in the world on WCF rankings, and they're fairly new to this sport, so I would say their ranking would be moving up. They've already won 1 world championship. They rank number 6 with 434 points. The USA ranks 4 with 507 points. Canada's in first. Very impressed with this Russian side. This stick here, extra long. It's unique, very, very long stick. It seems to be very, very effective. On the hand of Alexander Shevchenko. Extension with a very long stick. A little different way than we've seen. It seems to have fine control of draw weight. Well, Canada, pardon me, USA with a good corner guard. And Russia, that guard not coming over quite enough to guard their own stone, so USA could play ahead, or they can draw around their guard. Dave Palmer playing lead in this match for USA.
Come on, yep. Yep.
Being asked to draw around the corner guard, which he placed from the start. Light, definitely light on the rings. And when I talk about the weight, that's certainly the speed and the force put to the stone. The weight is
in the last second, it's the number 6 stone. And so
I mentioned the 6 stone might be a little slower.
3-5.
3-5.
The second player, Oksana Sisarenko. We saw in the first end, she can really throw hard. A lot of force in her throw. Just playing a guard here. It needs it over the hog line or be removed from play. Will it make the hog line? Nope, just short. Must be fully over the hog line or it is removed from play. Had beautiful line, just needed a bit more speed. A little more weight on that would have been required.
Right.
Well, there is a port. A chance for the USA to get through the hole.
Clear that one. You know what?
And Penny is the
You can
only
see that
female
whole rock.
wheelchair player at the Green Bay Curling
You
Club.
can see the whole rock.
Pat, I can see that whole rock behind you.
We can see
can?
that whole thing in the
Okay.
house. Wide open.
And the team saying, let's make a play on the back end.
All right, normal, 12 and a half.
And they talk about 12 and a half. That's
like
the
the other
speed they're
truck.
talking about. They all have a number system, which they use. The stick grabs that stone on the pullback. So becomes inertia, then the push. In the hand of Penny. Social worker in Brown County. She ends up taking off that guard, which Patrick wanted removed. So a good shot anyway, a good clearing shot.
I know,
I think that was his plan.
but don't you think that other turn?
Well, that'd open it up at any rate. That'll definitely help the USA. They have the advantage of the last stone on this end. The Russia so far with the counter in the rings and guarding it up. Oksana like just a little bit more speed this time to get the stone over the hog line. She had a beautiful path on the first one.
Сейчас точно играешь. Оксана, вперед, продвинься.
Oksana, 43-year-old. In Yekaterinburg in Russia.
2-8.
Played in 7 world championships before. Has a daughter, ex-Tarina, and she lives in economics. Grows out of the Rodnik Club. Penny now looking to hit with the stone she can see. Good line here. She makes the hit, stays open, would like to roll behind. And Penny, her hobbies are fishing, swimming, and golfing, sitting volleyball, and also wheelchair basketball. Very impressed with this Russian skip. He's a very cool customer. That's Andrei Shmurnov. And Alaska's third player, Marit Romanov, for an in-turn hit. Russia using just a little bit longer sticks, and once again, throwing without anyone, racing the chair. It's certainly something unique now. We haven't seen that. The hit, a little bit too much roll inside, but at least the fans cheer the fact that the stone's gone out of play of the U.S.
Нет, сбоку не очень видно, Марат.
Not bracing the chair is
Нет проблем.
Тогда пошире
wow,
было
it's
ставить.
certainly something we haven't seen.
Но он руку не поднял, значит, чуть
I always thought till now it was always an advantage to have one bracing the chair, as Penny will be here for a throw from Jimmy Joseph, the jam man. Jimmy in his third Paralympics. Likes basketball, racing, and bowling. He began curling in 2003 at Utica, New York. Tried something new and fell in love with curling. Oh, what a wonderful pass, but just a bit too much weight. Slides through the ring. So close, yet so far. Russia now with a chance to beat the USA in behind the guards.
3-2-8.
Марат, 3-2-8.
Merritt, Romanov, physical education, Rural Academy of Phys Ed, belongs to the Granite Club in Shelobinks, and his hobby making model tanks. He started curling in 2007. Pretty nice weight. Going to stay high in the rings. Might not be totally hidden behind cover, but the fans love the effort. And the arena's getting loud.
Его видно.
И скачи туда.
Russian fans during the Olympics and now the Paralympics have really fallen in love with the sport of curling.
Line jam.
The jam man playing the in-turn hit. And He's an intense player.
Behind that guy. Roll behind the guy.
Hit and roll. Will it stay behind cover? Oh, that is an absolutely beautiful shot. I don't think there's any way for Smirnov to get at that one.
Ну что делаем?
Might be forced to draw. You see just a sliver of it as it pokes its nose out on the intern side a
Что,
little.
Горда снимем?
Ну давай.
Хотя
Very
он мало
difficult,
торчит
though.
сюда.
Торчит мало, смещайся туда, послабже.
Not able to see a lot of that, and coming from the outside, his shooter would be rolling away.
Ну давай все равно, либо Горда снимем.
Ну
либо-
давай, смотри оттуда.
Ага.
A bit of a risky shot, too. Should he happen to make contact with that guard, could accidentally raise the USA in. He carries the tool of the trade on the back of his chair as he skids to a stop and makes a quick turn. Romanov will hold the brush, expecting about a little over a foot and a half of curl. This is the end turn, the clockwise rotation. for
Десятка,
the
Андрей.
skip.
9-5.
Да, 9-5-10. Не сильнее.
No one bracing the chair for him again. Very unusual. But
Хорошо.
they use a longer stick and they keep very, very low with it. And a different method of throwing. And you know, if something works, you never know. Other countries might be copying that pretty quick. Wow, what a great shot. Oh, didn't think he could see enough of that to get it. And the accuracy, unbelievable. Tremendous shot. And it stayed too. I didn't think there was any way he could hit and stay on that. That was a great roll that the jam man had made in behind, and what a shot by
That was a
Smirnov to
great
get it out.
shot.
Yeah.
Patrick admitting that was a
Do you want
great
to go
shot.
outside in, or are you thinking?
It curls enough. That should be right there. Just a hair more, Jam. There you go.
Patrick McDonald going with the other turn. He'll play the out turn into the stone and hopefully rolling behind the guard. In his second Paralympics. And I tend to call him tattoos. He's got tattoos on both ears, and he says he has tattoos right from his ears right down to his ankles.
Are you kidding? Wow.
Ran right straight, right through the curl. And these Russian fans cheering a miss, and it's really difficult for the USA in this game. They're not used to, say, fans
Давай, 2-5.
going crazy and cheering when they miss a shot. It's generally not the etiquette of curling. But these fans are new to the sport, and they'll cheer anything, which is helping their Russian side. Andre speaks both Russian and English. As I mentioned, he has the best percentages amongst the 10 skips in the competition, playing at a clip of 59%. So there's that long extension. Now, he must release the stone before the hog line. That would be a foul if it was released after the hog line. He did get it away before the hog line. Fair throw, good throw. Slides into the ring, is going deep. Goes straight to the back 8 foot, but the Russian side lies too, and boy, I can feel this arena just really putting the pressure on the U.S. They're not
Same
used
shot,
to
just use
such
that
a
as
noisy
backing.
arena,
Middle of the
particularly
8.
when it's
There
against
you
them.
go. Right in the middle of the 8.
Patrick McDonald yelling down the ice for
Just your normal draw.
Jimmy
baby.
to give him the ice, and U.S. has to maintain their composure here. They're playing not only against the Russian team, but the crowd here too. Patrick gets that stone on its way. He began curling in 2008 in California. Yellow's weight is here. Looking good. Will it sit in time? Just nudges off. Only good enough for the second shot. Stone. Excellent try, but it will be a steal of 1 for Team Russia. They get another point here in the second end. High fives all around from the Russians. And the crowd cheering them on. Now the 2012 World Championship team up 3-0 at this point in time in USA. It's a big game for both sides. The Russian team with a record of 3-1. USA coming in with a record of 1-3, and it's a big game for the US to stay alive and keep their hopes for a run at the playoffs. And Russia scored there, so with 2 steals, a deuce stole in the first inning and another steal in the second, USA would like to count and get rid of that hammer, perhaps get a big end here. Sochi, Russia, beautiful place to hold the Paralympics. Such a warm city, the northernmost subtropical area in the world. There's palm trees around here, believe it or not. The weather's always nice, never cool in the evenings. And yet there's snow in the mountains. Just a half hour away, and here we are, just a few hundred yards from the Black Sea.
Гордецкий. Ну, почти но зато
Black
почти
Sea,
в
one
линии.
of the largest seas in the world, 500 miles in width. USA would like a better
Corner to the
start
other
here.
side.
Russia with a long center guard. US playing a corner to the side, a stone which they hope to draw around with their next shot. Dave Palmer with the throw. His motto, work hard, play hard. The US will have to play hard here to get back into this match. It's deeper than they wanted. They would have liked that in front of the rings and draw around it with their next one, but in the rings, certainly Russia now can make a play on it. This stone is not in the free guard zone.
Сейчас я встану. Держать, меня держать.
Not affected by the 4-rock rule. And what I mean by that is that
Держать? Да, да.
the hitting became so great in curling at one time at a regular level. Hence a new rule to get some rocks in play, and so along came the 4-rock rule stating that the stone in front of the rings could not be totally removed from the opposition until after the first 4 stones at the end were played. Alexander, stone on its way. He's married, his wife Tatiana and son Stanislav. An engineer makes contact, rolls up, but the main thing is he did get rid of the U.S. stone. And his hobby, he says he loves traveling.
One more time.
The U.S. will throw up to one more corner, play it out in front of the rings. Dave will need just a little bit less speed than he had on the first stone. Leads it over the hog line. Take it out in front of the rings. And that term, the hog line, comes from the olden days of curling, going way back to the 1600s. This sport started in Scotland. So, crazy terms like the hog line. And the rings are known as the house.
Тебя подержать на теле?
2-5.
2-5?
Оксана, не держать?
Нет.
Oksana playing second today. She's normally the 5th on this team. And her hobby is needlework. And she says she loves the strategy in curling. She's always watching closely the shots that are being called. She's played in 7 world championships.
Хорошо.
A gold medal winner with this team in 2012 in Korea.
Молодец.
Things going very well so far for the Russian side, playing steady. Russia playing at a clip of 49% so far on their shots, and the USA lower at 35%. So they're being out-curled.
Come on.
Plenty of time here to make a comeback. Just have to make more shots. Chance here for the USA to draw in behind the guard. And that one's fully buried, although will not be shot stone for the moment. It's only second. Still, it has the potential to count.
Наиграть.
And remember, at the conclusion of the end, it's the number of stones that a team has closer to the center than the opponent's best which count. You see the Paralympic button,
1-8, 2.
the 4-foot blue circle, 8-foot white, 12-foot red, that's in diameter. Roxana, her motto, together we can do anything, and go Russia go. She credits her family for her success. Her mother put her heart and soul into her success. Tap in her own rock. Wanted that to stop just a top 4-foot, but still a pretty nice shot. Very close to second shot stone. Does appear to be Russia with the ownership of the second shot right now.
I'd run that back. Do the same shot she did, try to get a double.
A little bit of discussion about the strategy of the U.S. players, thinking that they could play the hit on the stones they can see rather than slashing off the guard.
There's two guys. Only two guys that I need.
Penny peeling off the guard, at least that'll open it up.
Got it.
And certainly in curling, when a team isn't winning as much as they should, and with a 1-3 record, definitely there's always an opportunity for the players to doubt the strategy. That's usually the first thing that happens.
Работает всегда. Чужие не копим.
So when you're winning, everybody is with the skip. And if you start not to win, everybody doubts the skip strategy. And if you're out on the ice, you have to be careful coming too close to Alexei because he has that stick on the back of the chair and wouldn't want to get whopped. If you ever turn the wrong way, you'd be danger. Barrett. Swinging off that stone. Trying to lose its handle. Not quite the best guard, but it's the back one.
Под конец он так поперек дороги пошел и встал нормально.
Russia with the advantage. They lead at 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can see
Got a
it.
shot at a
but
double.
I still wouldn't mind peeling one more time.
Definitely a little bit of dissension in the ranks here. A little bit of talking about which strategy. Although I have noticed all the way through the competition, Patrick McDonald is very open to suggestions from his team. Yet he has to make the final decisions. And a lot of teams nowadays skip by committee. There's some input. There goes that guard. Tripping the guard off. Still a pretty good shot. Keeps it open.
Тот хорошо поперек дороги пошел под конец.
Russia will play a guard once again.
Тот был что? 4-2?
And they have the stopwatch out. All the players nowadays use the stopwatch. Just timing in seconds, the speed of the ice, particularly on draw shots.
Я пошел.
Looking for a guard. Stone. That might be enough weight to go right into the ring. Oh, just short. Very good guard on that top stone.
Он что-то не позволил. Значит, шире выкинул.
Russia protects second shot.
Что-то я не понял, маленький,
Я тоже.
что произошло.
The main
Вроде
shot
шел
stone at the
сильнее.
back.
По-
8 foot of
Повинен,
6,
что ли,
6
мало
o'clock
стало,
position
или
is wide open, so the U.S. can make a play on that.
I like that too.
No, let's take it.
The U.S. right now, how do they get more than one? That's the question. They trail at 3-0. They would like to multiple score. I'm sure it could come by the hit and roll here. They could play the hit and roll in behind. Jam man playing the out turn. Counterclockwise rotation. He's a very good hitter.
Keep curling. Keep curling. Get my roll.
Goes over right to the nose. Need to curl just a little bit more to get that inside roll. Boy, without the help of sweep,
после
you
Дилана,
sure do have
ты
to
не
be
померил
accurate.
вес?
Я нет.
Я тоже. Не, чуть пошире, Марат, он подваливает, ага. Либо отскочит, выше того станет.
Над
This
этим, да?
Russian team looks
Давай,
like
любой
they're
ролик.
very, very well coached by Anton Butigin. Quite a lot of their success through the skip. Andrei Smirnov seems really like a man who's in charge of the situation.
Подержи.
Curling in Russia was actually taken there by the Scots. Took curling all over the world, of course. It started in Scotland. Whenever the Scots went, they took curling stones with them. Curling started in Russia in the early 1900s, but then there was no curling for about 60, 70 years. Not until the 1980s or so did curling start up again.
Капельку пошире.
Now it's getting very big. Big hit here, and that time there was some support on the chair. Might be a double. Oh, just goes past the back of it. Well, the crowd would have even cheered louder if it had been a double.
Back. 8-3.
Problem for the U.S. now, how do they get at the top stone, which is the shot stone ready behind cover? Not much they can do to get that one out. That real long stick
I know, I
being
can
used
either
by the
draw
Russian
in.
skip.
So is there
I can either try to draw,
We'll listen to the U.S. for a second.
or we try to. Yeah, I mean, we could try to draw in, even if we went this way and use that as backing. I was just thinking if we pound this one, that one goes that way and this opens up and we got one here, but then, you know what I mean? But we got to get, because that's one, you know? Hold on.
No decision made yet, and the U.S. is using some clock here. They started the game with
Who's shot?
68
Okay.
minutes.
They're shot by about an inch. If we pound that top red one,
Yeah.
the back red one's gone and we're shot.
right?
Jam,
I would.
let's go after that.
Then we're
Yep.
shot. Your chance for two.
Jim just
You wanna
asking
come
which
outside
turn.
in?
I think this is fine. I mean, it, because I'd like to flip over to the front. You know what I mean? Because if I hit the edge of it, then the top red one hopefully will spill to the other side. You know what I mean?
Patrick will play the out turn here with some weight. The U.S. in their 3 matches so far, they lost 6-4 to Slovakia, who's still undefeated. They lost 9-5 to Korea, who were the silver medalists in Vancouver in 2010. They beat Norway 8-5, and then in their last match, they lost 7-2 to Canada, the gold medalists. That's the right. Everything went good, but just not enough weight to get rid of the shot stone. Good idea in principle, but needed more speed. Of course, the Russians cheer that as a miss.
Начало. Лучше этого или просто закроем?
Captain McDonald had the right idea.
Если сильнее дам,
Should
сюда
throw that one
заедем.
harder.
Добро.
Главное, чтоб,
На 11.
главное, чтобы лучше того.
Да, на 11. Он, в принципе, в T-line идет.
С 11 идет в
Да. Ну, по аналогии.
Ну сейчас, ладно, сейчас вспомним.
Well, Russia can guard here. If they could place a really good guard in their stone and make it difficult for the U.S. But if they miss the guard, then the U.S. might have a chance at 2.
Щетку вспоминаем с той стороны, что на начало дома.
Андрюш, ты вези, чтобы второй камень был еще лучше.
Я понимаю.
Гард, в принципе,
Russia
у
could
тебя есть упор.
also put a
Я
second
понимаю.
counter
Но я
into
хочу
the
начало.
rings. That would be a good strategy, a good tactic on their part.
Щетка нормальная?
Нормально?
Не широко?
I mentioned how Russia is using the extra
Huh?
long stick.
Не широко?
Ну, можно
2
чуть
feet longer
поставить,
than
чуть сузить.
Марат, поуже.
any I've seen with the
Очень
other
так
team.
широко, он не успеет подвалить. Вот так. Да, у тебя ориентир
There
есть.
is no
Как
rule
они
stating
вдохнут?
how long that stick can be,
Опять.
just that you can't
Опять?
be over the hog line on the release. That
Бойся,
stick
веди.
about 2 feet longer, and it looks like it works pretty well.
Чуть пошире.
Playing the guard, but this will come straight into the ring. It's a pretty good shot. Oh, that's a real great stone. Almost freezes right up to his own. There might be a double possibility there for the U.S., but boy, it would have to be throwing hard to get rid of both of those stones. Might be possible. Better done probably with the end
Yeah, I
turn
have to
coming
hit
into
this
it.
side here. Yeah, I know. So, right there.
Still throwing the out turn, but that's okay. The turn isn't as big a deal here as really the accuracy. See here, this game is being played on sheet C. All of the stones on this sheet are numbered.
They're set up.
You see on the handle, numbered from 1 to 8 in the reds and 1 to 8 in the yellows.
Now,
You must throw a lot of weight.
right at the last minute, you're going to have to throw at least a 12, a 13 on
Oh, that's what I plan on
if-
throwing.
with that
Yep.
room the way it is.
A lot of weight to
I almost think
have
you
enough
can
force
cheat
to
and
get
give 'em a
both
little bit more
stones out of the
room.
rings. Last shot here of the third end for the U.S. Skip Patrick McDonald, the 46-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin, has really put some heat on this one. The hit rolls it far enough, but not for 2. It'll just be for 1. Well, still a great shot by Patrick. Really threw some good steam on that. And I'd like to see him throw more like that, where he throws more weight. Would have helped on his first shot.
Было бы нормально. Ништяк, все. Вот теперь у нас последний.
The USA
You
finally
know
on
what
the
numbers
board.
You are. You guys need to pay attention. Can you make sure that they have the right numbers?
Russian fans cheering on their side in this game. The colorful fans of Russia, and they really do love their colors and their designs on their outfits. Sochi is colors and lights everywhere. The arenas, some of these arenas here, actually the LED lighting on it. They can do all sorts of lighting shows right on the buildings. And very colorful clothing all the way through Sochi. Volunteer jackets and official jackets are beautiful. The USA finally on the board, using the hammer there to get 1. Russians lead it now, 3-1 after 3 ends of play.
Но ему пошире надо было, чтобы лобаста. Но он, в принципе, лобаста и пришел, что 2 не ушло.
Well, the U.S. will have to get their stealing caps out now to get back into this game. We'll start off hoping to play a center guard and then draw around it after. course, with no sweeping to warm the path or diminish the curl on a curl that a stone takes, or to take a stone 5 or 10 feet further, a Paralympic chair curler needs to be more precise right from the point of throw. Real nice guard there, played by Dave, right on the center line. That's where they wanted it. And Russia will make an attempt to come around. They could chip that stone over. That wouldn't be a penalty, but they cannot totally remove it from play. They can laugh at the fourth stone at the end. Hence the 4-rock rule, it's called. Alexander drawing around with the end turn. He has passed the magic weight. Stop quickly. Top 8 foot. Probably fully buried. It's a great opening shot for Russia. Taking command of the top of the 8-foot area. It's tough for the U.S. to draw around and be buried in behind. 5-6, meaning the distance they would like, a deepness in the rings. Top ring is a 3. 5-6 means around to the back of the 4-foot area. East to the button. David Palmer works for the Mashpee public school system. Just a little bit too much weight there. Russians cheer that stone that goes through for the U.S. And in curling, that wouldn't be known as great sportsmanship, but you never know.
Только чтоб ролик не поймали.
The Russian skip himself said, Andrei Smirnov, when the crowd was cheering that loud for him, he said, I was caught off guard at first. He said, I didn't know what to expect. He said, our hopes are to play good here, like we can. And, the ice has been very slow so far, but we're working hard to adapt to it. And their 3-1 record so far. They've had some really tight matches. They beat China 5-4. That was a very close game. 7-4 over Finland and 7-5 over Korea. That was a very close match as well.
Penny, control 12.
Well, the U.S. without the advantage of last stone on this end, and things are really setting up well for Russia. The Owen counter ready behind the center guard that was placed there by U.S. Just needs a nice hit and roll
that
here.
was me. I could give you a little bit more.
Good hit and stay.
I only shot one.
9.
Penny, the birthday girl, with a nice shot on that stone.
Да, давай, вставай.
Curling is the only team sport in the Paralympics which has both genders on the same team. Men and women playing on an equal playing field. There must be one of each gender on the ice at all times. Slides by
9-5.
Roxana. So with the 5-man team that a team has here, there are 4 on the ice and the alternate, most teams will carry 3 of one gender and 2 of the other.
Split the house.
Because there must always be one of the gender on the ice.
I like
and
this.
And if a person is sick, well, they need a replacement of that same gender.
Penny,
Yep.
5-6.
Difficult shot here for U.S. They cannot see that stone. Not very much of it anyway, the one that is buried in behind the guard.
Come on, yep. Come on. Yep.
Good line for Penny. She will stop just in front of the rings, but Russia's still guarded, and that's really the main stone, even though it's not shot stone. That is the difficult problem.
Тот
Stone
был
in this end.
9-5.
USA Stone is
Тот
wide
был узко.
open
Не
on the
торопись.
side.
Не торопись.
Whereas Russia's is buried in behind the guard. Stone must be delivered within the two blue lines, which are 18 inches away from the center line, which means the player cannot go way off to the side of the sheet and throw from there.
10-3.
10-3.
There's not enough weight there, and Skip Smirnoff not too pleased with that throw.
Доктор говорит, всё,
And we saw in the first end how hard Oksana can throw. She can really blister them down the sheet.
Марата забьешь сейчас.
That one she was a little too careful. A chance here now for the U.S. to perhaps steal some points. They have shot Stone. Can they take advantage? Third man, Jimmy Joseph. A 51-year-old from New Hartford, New York. Trains 5 days a week. His motto, never give up, and the U.S. has had to fight from behind in just about every match they play. Not quite enough speed here.
Девять.
Well, not a bad guard though.
9.
9? Марат, 9.
Romanov only able to see about half of that score. He too uses that extra long stick.
Давай, ровненький.
Seems to work very well.
Тоже нормально. Подвалит. Падает. Давай. Молодец. 10.
That's a good pass and a wonderful hit. Russia with a nice shot to lie two. This arena really noisy. The U.S. fighting back as hard as they can. Real nice hit and roll the inside here is what they need. Jimmy Jam playing the outturn, intently watching the direction. Like the inside roll. Oh, that is a beauty. Oh, that will silence the fans for a second. Just a dandy shot. Right in behind cover.
Nice shot.
What a shot. You only see a sliver of it on the in-turn side. Skip
Его
Andrei
чуть-чуть
Smirnoff
видно.
asks to clear
Андрей,
the
его
front
видно,
ones.
он за Тилайном. Может, отсюда достанем?
А если не достанем?
Давай Тилайном попробуем.
С этого, если что, пройдешь.
Да разбивай, правильно тебе.
Ну
Мы
давай,
спортсмены.
разбиваем. Там, если что, через ту пару
Подожди,
нормально.
Не, если ты сейчас снимешь, то нормально там пробьется.
Smirnoff with that extra
Они все в ряд
long
стоят потом.
stick sticking out
Да,
the
смещайся,
back of his chair.
Нет, все-таки смещайся.
There's two ways
10.
they could play this. They
10,
could
Marat.
play it straight back.
Тот был что?
On the other hand, it looks like
Тут
they
был
might
10,
be
да?
trying to just barely hair the guard and try and chip it out.
Тоже силой.
See what Merritt has up his sleeve.
Давай, работать начинаем. 9:35. Вроде идет.
Wow, what a beautiful shot. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. That's twice now where the U.S. in this match has made great shots and Russia's had a reply. That was a super shot in anybody's book,
Edge of the 8, just drawing.
sweeping or no sweeping. Fantastic shot. He picked it out. He said, I can see enough to get at it. And he did.
Have a rock hidden like that.
Jimmy has to laugh at Now he's made 2 great shots, and both times the Russians had an answer. Patrick McDonald will play the intern, hopefully bury in behind. Need to be letter perfect with the weight. His team intently looks on over his shoulder. 15.9 seconds, hog to hog, just not enough weight. You need about a 13.5.
Главное подушки, да. Только тут
Faster it
тоже
goes
надо
through that
двойник,
zone,
чтобы не раскорячить.
less time it
Давай
uses,
везем,
the more
если сила
speed it
будет,
has.
завалим. Либо с этой стороны.
Или край.
Не, давай оттуда везем, на середину.
Too slow on the
То есть
time clock.
вариант, да. Сила такая, вот это было
Still
2-4.
line one.
Просто завести.
2-4.
Да.
Не, подожди. 2. Нам надо, чтобы он перевалил, сюда встал.
2-5-2.
2-5-2.
Надо вести под горда.
Да, мне кажется, что тренированный словит.
Даже если он чуть слабее даст, он просто перекроет траекторию. А по правой стороне не бросали сейчас.
And there were some stats that really stood out going into this game.
2-5-2.
Russia, with their 3-1 record, was curling 55% as a team, whereas the USA was only curling 44% with their 1-3 record. And the Russian skip, Smirnov, was the top skip at 59%. And of course, look at the shots his third has made in this game too. Eric Romanov has been on fire. Watch this team, you can see why they won the 2012 World Championship in Chucheon, Korea. They can really play the game. Nice weight, asking for it to bury is Merritt, right in behind, goes to the back forefoot. Nice speed on that. 3/4 buried in behind the guards. It is accessible. This will have to be the perfect drive by the U.S. The freeze into that stone could give the U.S. the steal here.
Okay, 12 seconds.
He needs about 12 to 13. He had 15 on the first one. That is the timing between the first hog and second hog. That's 12.1. Looking good. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Just enough to nudge it back. Would have liked to freeze and then his stone would be unremovable.
Сила.
Подтолкнули туда дальше
Десятка.
гордов, а этот
Russians
стал.
might have a play.
Лобаста ему попасть и будет 3.
They can see enough of that yellow, they could move it back. Count more than one.
Нам надо, чтобы подвалил.
Да, да, надо, чтобы перевалил немножко. В лоб. Или за лоб.
Держи его сейчас.
Well, I like what I'm seeing from
А
this
может, не
Russian
смещаться
team.
тогда?
It's not just Smirnov in charge of the
Давай от греха
situation.
подальше, Андрей.
Сместиться?
Сместись.
Third Romanov
Бросил без вращения практически.
has a very good understanding of the game as well. They work well together. They rely on one another. And there's that extra long pole. I changed the wording from a stick to a pole now. It's awfully long. It's certainly legal and well used in the hand of Andrei Smirnov.
Сам?
Не, держи.
Держи.
Asked for a bit of bracing on this stone. Oksana right in behind him.
9-5.
Crowd quiet now, waiting for the throw. Rocks that back and forth. I like the idea of the rocking back and forth. Really gives the player a good feel. Will it curl enough? Well, it will curl enough to get 2 out of it. Almost 3. Like a big 2-bagger there for the Russian side. U.S. came close to stealing, but not quite. And Russia once again dominating that scoreboard with a lead of 5-1 over the U.S. after 4 ends of play. Boy, Russia's been putting the good numbers. They're averaging 56% as a team so far. U.S. 46%. Going into the 4th end break, Russia leads it by a score of 5-1. And I can certainly see why they have that record of 3 wins and 1 loss. Playing very well. The fans here, the Russians out to support their team. Fans here from all over the world. Plenty from the U.S. as well, cheering on their side. Here we are inside of the Ice Cube in Sochi, Russia for Paralympic curling 2014, and this venue holds 3,000 spectators, as mentioned. It's also the site for the Olympic curling. We look at the numbers now for the Russian Federation. Good numbers from Smirnov and at 69%, and his third, Romanov, at 68%. Only their second, Oksana, keeping down the team average, but 3 of the 4 of them playing very well in this match. Those are high numbers. Anytime teams are playing in the 60% in wheelchair curling, that's pretty high numbers without the advantage of having sweep. Here's their team meeting in the 4th end.
Да, только вы... Нет. Еще 4.
Понятно. Полдела еще только.
Всего лишь полдела сделали.
Стараемся украсть. Приоритет не отдать больше одного, правильно?
Ну да.
Their coach is Anton Batugin.
Один отдаем, с последним 2 берем.
Their 5th player is Svetlana Pekomomova. Look at the U.S. numbers. And Patrick, the pressure's been on him at skip. Patrick McDonald, only 25%. His 3 players up in the 50, and Patrick's had the tough shots, though. He hasn't had any easy ones so far in this match. Coach Steve Brown.
Yeah. We got to execute our weights, and and I'm giving that extra, that little bit of room to try to get that roll, and they still just keep, diving in and nosing it and just leaving out there. Or if we do get anything,
coach,
it's only like a roll this much.
Scheiber.
Getting a little bit of sliders because of the handles. You're noticing that.
5th player, Megan Lino.
You got it.
And we compare the 2 teams. Takeouts, Russia has the advantage at 55%, and also on the hits at 58%. So Russia, better numbers so far. Playing a more consistent game. And making the big shots. Well, there was big shots made in that game. In the first 4 ends. Every time the U.S. made a great hit and roll, Russia had an answer. Dug it out from under cover. Boy, those are tough shots to play. And Russia with the 2 deuces, 1 on the 1st and 1 on the 4th end. Full marks for their 5-1 lead right now over the USA. Still 4 ends to go of regulation play, so plenty can happen. The U.S. will have to mount a charge. Have the advantage of last stone here in the 5th end. Russia counted there, so they'll play the opening shot of the 5th end. Birthday girl Penny cheering on the troops, saying, all right, let's go. Alexander Shavenko will start out this fifth end. Playing 66% so far. 68% on his 7 draws, and he's only had the 1 takeout. That's normal, and leads play way more draws in the game of curling because they begin the ends. Put a lot of guards in the 3 guard zone as well. Seconds play way more takeouts. And thirds and skips, it could be a variety back and forth depending upon how the game is going. Dave Palmer, the lead for Team USA. 6 draws and 2 takeouts so far. 50% pace. Stone in up front in the 3 guard zone. Just slips into the rings, and the disadvantage there for the USA. Russia can make a direct hit on it.
Да, сейчас я встану только. Я тебе скажу.
Had it stayed out in front, it would have been protected for a few stones by the 3 guard zone rule.
Да.
If it's biting or in the ring, the opponent can play ahead. I really like that longer stick. It seems that a person can really rock the stone back and forth a lot more. Get a good feel for it. Pretty big weight here. And a good direct hit from Alexander. 69%, now 73 after that shot. The crowd being a factor here too, cheering on the Russian side.
Other side. Corner. Yeah.
Dave Palmer has to play a corner guard. This Sochi venue, the Ice Cube, hosted the World Wheelchair Championship last January here in Sochi as a test event, and also the World Juniors last March. It was here last January at the World Wheelchair Championship that Canada won. The World Championship. It was Jim Armstrong. That team is here intact from last year. Paralympic curling, the first Wheelchair Championship was held in 2002 in Sochi, Switzerland. With the Swiss winning gold, and then Torino, Turin was the first Paralympic appearance and introduction of curling. And Canada has won gold both times in the Olympics, Paralympics. That was in Torino in 06. Also Jim Armstrong, the Canadian team in 2010 in Vancouver. Nice hit this time by Oksana Sharensko. Line 3. Well, the Russians enjoying this game, and why shouldn't they? They have a 5-1 lead. Things are definitely going their way. The Russians will have to work hard here to get some points on the board. Penny Greeley, Green Bay, Wisconsin, playing a hit, would like to hit and roll. That's a nice shot, slightly behind cover. Make it a little bit more difficult, although the Russia can hit their own stone right back onto it. It certainly provides a bit of a challenge. And pulling that stick from the back almost reminds me of a bow and arrow reaching for the quiver. Oksana having the most difficult time on her team today. She was wide on hits in the first end. She can really throw the big weight. And there she makes a good hit. Playing better now. She's quite accurate. U.S. just not getting a miss from this Russian side when they would like it. Kenny normally plays lead on this team, playing second today. Playing 58%. Really good game for her this match. Been very steady.
It's okay.
Nice hit and stay as well. And for the U.S., because they did not get that initial guard out in the free guard zone, the game is in the rings right now, and the Russians seem to be pleased with that, being able to hit right along with the U.S. The U.S. so far unable to build an end. And we have seen so far how accurate Marat Romanov, the vice skip for Russia, is. He's made two great shots getting stones from behind guards.
Yeah.
He's playing at 66%, and on his takeouts, 83% in this game. That is high. See how he fares here. Just slides by. His first miss in the game on a takeout. It was close. Who has shot stone? U.S. has shot stone, so they could just guard their own or draw into the rings.
Just normal. Just normal.
A normal hit and stay here would be very good as well. One of the keys when you're trailing in a match is not to let your own stones disappear from the playing area. You like to keep your stones around. So the lighter the weight, the less chance there's of rolling out. U.S. pretty much having to hit and stay here. The roll up would really lose the end for them.
Curl some more. Curl some more. Curl some more.
A hit, will it stay?
Sit there. Sit, 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 sit.
No. I don't think so.
Давай с этим.
Давай.
Not sure if that stone spun back in. No, it's spun out. It's out of the range.
Нет, не спешу.
Just a little bit too much weight for U.S. and that's why they had to play it quietly to make sure they stayed around. Well, he missed this stone, Marat did on his first one. Now a chance to redeem himself. And for the life of me, I don't know why they don't have more bracing with that chair. But it's worked out, so I guess no need to. I would think the one reason they do that is because of the extra long sticks they're using. They like to pull it back as far as they can, rock it back quite a few times in a row, and perhaps they feel the second chair in behind is a little bit of a hindrance. And they are getting their weight more from the swinging motion of the arm back and forth rather than just a hard push. I would think more teams will be doing that in the future. They'll definitely be listening to this broadcast. They'll definitely be watching close what the Russians are doing. And we certainly might see some changes. It's exactly the type of stick that's used in the future and how it's used. Of course, in every sport, there's always that new way of doing things that works a little bit better. Once a team has success, everyone copies. It's been happening in sports for years. And the Russians really onto something. I like what they're doing. If we follow Andrei Smirnov down the ice, the #1 best percentage amongst all of the skips in this event. Plays out of the Rodnik Club in Yekaterinburg, Russia. He started playing in 2004 and he's played in 7 World Championships. Gold in 2012 in Korea, as we mentioned. This is their first Paralympics and doing very well. Their record of 3-1. Their 3 wins. They played well and they are leading this match against USA by a score of 5-1. They could be headed for the playoffs. And there's that rocking motion, the hand back and forth. Just like a pool cue in a billiard game. Just slides by that, and more difficult to hit out by the boards, no doubt. Unplayed ice out by that far. It's misses on hits by the Russian back end. Merritt missed one, and now Andre. Very close, though. They just slivered by both. A chance here now for Patrick McDonald. Will split the rings to lie two.
Is that back one out counting the one on the left?
Let's
And
go,
Patrick,
little less.
a great charity worker,
Just
he's
a hair
raised.
less.
He has raised over
There you go.
$100,000
Is that back one even
for
on?
breast cancer
No.
through his celebrity
No.
golf
It's not even
events
on?
No.
and through his
It's in
black
play, but
tie
it's not on.
dinners. And the tattoo man, he says he has tattoos right from his ears. There's one on his ear right there, all the way down to his ankles. He loves golf and cooking as well. Needs this stone in the rings. Had a shot at a 2 or 3 under. They don't have enough speed to make the rings.
Oh,
And just coming up short.
must have left my draw weight back home.
And he has struggled with draw weight
Вот так вот.
ever since coming to
Погоди.
Sochi.
Я ставил вот
He's
так, да?
not been able to
Он
be
прошел
consistent
вообще
with the
вот
так
draws.
вот. Он рядом прошел. Давай вот так вот.
Давай, 9 так же.
9, да.
Поближе к камню поставить. и
The
всё.
Russia Brain Trust. Third Romanov and Skip Smirnov just talking about adjusting the broom, taking a little bit less ice on this hit. Their first stone ran rather straight.
Андрюшка, там была сила 9. Вы щетку
Сильно хорошо.
подправили,
А
так?
мы же 9 кидали,
Не,
9.
все правильно. Я говорю, щетку вы сейчас подправили, с той же силой бейте.
And only the one stone in the rings, that belonging to the U.S. There goes that extra long stick, the rocking back again. The motion that is working. .61% in this game. Looks like a better line this time. And that's a hard thrown stone. 8 seconds was the travel time. 8.13 seconds, the travel time between first and second hog line. Very, very accurate. Read the ice good for that shot. And for the U.S., unfortunately now only the chance for one. With the miss of the draw on Patrick's first stone, no chance for the 2-ender now. Patrick with the low numbers, really being out-troped the skip position in this match. As I mentioned, he must have left his draw weight at home because he has struggled with his draw weight. And most of the time light. Most of the time he's been light of the rings, as he was on that first shot there at this 5th end. The U.S. will hit and stay. Grabbing one in this end.
Возьмите Марча, бросалку.
And although Russia missed 2 wide open hits,
My draw.
unfortunate to only give up the single point.
I tried to throw. I tried.
Дом?
I was, I was getting. Oh, I know it did. No, no. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
All right, let's go.
We're down 3. Okay.
6, 7, 8.
Okay. We're down 3. We got 3 to go. Okay. We got to at least steal 1. Okay. But we got to hit our weight. Okay.
U.S. talking about what they need to do to get back into this game.
Нет, дать.
Нас
1 или 2
нас
берем.
даже один камень.
Да, ну лучше 2.
Да.
And the long sticks from Russia having the better of it so far. And will that be a new revolution in wheelchair curling? We'll see in the future. And this Russian team really onto something and playing well. With the U.S. back on the scoreboard, their second point of the game. They could have had more. Russia did miss 2 takeouts in that end, but the U.S. unable to capitalize. And that's been the story of the event for them so far. Even when they do catch a break, get a miss from the opponent, they give the break right back. Unable to capitalize. And the one match they played better was their win, their 9-5 win. Pardon me, their 8-5 win of over Norway. They made all the shots in that game. They struggled in the first match against Slovakia and then in the matches since then.
Bailey.
He's in
Подержишь?
And definitely the conditions for these teams have been different than they were at the World Championships here last January. These are different stones. The players are still getting used to the fact that they curl more than what they was played here last January. The ice today seems a little bit better. The ice technicians have the ice running a little bit straighter. Push stone into the rings and a direct hit. Alexander Shavenko. Playing 83% on his takeouts in this game, so Russia really, really accurate on their hits. Once again, they'd slipped that first stone of theirs into the rings. They'd let the stone in front into that free guard zone, which is protected until the seconds come to throw at any rate.
The curl out of that one. Look at the curl on that sucker. Yeah.
Андрюш, поставь чуть пошире. Туда.
And once again, Russia rocking that stone back and forth. And the tricky thing with the rocking back and forth, and I would say with a lot of the sticks used in wheelchair curling before, with the rocking back, quite often the stone was slipping out of the stick. That rocking back and forth. And somehow these sticks which the Russians are using, there is not that slippage. And most of the other teams have had to just kind of brace themselves a little bit and just use a direct push, where Russia is definitely using the rocking back and forth, and that's much easier for them to overcome the inertia rather than just having to push the stone.
You can see all of that.
But obviously there's a mechanism they're using which grasps the stones a little bit better with that particular stick. You see there a little bit of the slippage right there with the stick on the stone. Obviously, I think teams will be looking at what is the technology that the Russians are using. Penny with a real nice hit. She's having a great game. 60%.
Не надо смещаться. Все хорошо, с линией. Может, поближе камни поставить?
Надо ролик. 9-5 бросай.
Либо скорректировать.
9, да? Ролик? Ну да, девяточку. Оксана.
9-9-5.
Ксюш, не слабее. 9-9-5.
Все ништяк будет.
Oksana with the pullback, and those sticks that the Russians are using, they're definitely holding on the stone very well. There's no slippage that we've seen. Makes it much easier for the player. Another good hit by the Russian side. Even though they rolled to the side, still stay in the rings, and the fans are loving everything that their team is doing. And smiles all around for the Russian team.
What do you think?
Things going their way.
All of it. Can you see it?
Get a double out of that.
The Russians having a fine hitting game.
There.
Normal.
Hit from the U.S., but rolled to the side. Not quite what they wanted. Close for Penny, but not quite.
Сколько наш будет? 100-пудово. Ну давай, да.
Или сюда.
Не, давай, убираем его.
Ксюшка, давай, нужен клир.
And these stones used in curling, they took 10 days to transport from Scotland to Sochi. They were also used in the Olympics before these Paralympics. The granite comes from the Isle of Ailsa Craig, just off the coast of Scotland, where large blocks of granite lie on the beach, ready and waiting to be loaded on a boat and received by the factory. The stones start out as square blocks and when are ground and polished into their beautiful uniform shape, which we see today. 42 pounds, a striking band on the side of the stone, it's a little bit rougher area. And the bottom area, which contacts those, is the beautiful blue hone, the hard best sliding granite, which is impervious to water. The rest of the stone is a gray-green Trevor granite. And all these stones nowadays, very, very close. I don't think there'll be more than a few ounces difference in weight between them. Not like the old days in the 1600s when the players showed up to the grand blocks of curling in Scotland with curling stones of all sizes and shapes. I remember even my early curling club experience where we had some big stones, wider ones, some flatter ones, some taller ones. It was good if you needed a guard. You used to get out the big stone for a guard. To guard through a port. Well, the U.S. desperately trying to get a stone hidden here, which this Russian team can't get on. That was looking pretty good. The jam man burying that one in, although it points its nose out the other side. And everything the U.S. does in this match, the Russians just have an answer for it. Marit Romanov, the outturn, playing 63%, 70% on his hits. He's been very accurate in this match, only has the one takeout miss. And there again, he picks that stone, but he'll leave it against his own, so the U.S. buys the break finally. Their shot stone at the back 8 foot. The Russians are second and third. And each team has 68 minutes to play their portion of the game on the clock. The U.S. clock is running right now.
Pat.
He moved it.
And if you asked, does anyone ever run out of time? Well, yes, if you do, you forfeit the match. And yesterday in a match, the skip from Sweden had 0 time to throw his last stone. Now, they released it, the clock had already gone. The match was forfeited right there, and the shot he made did not count. And Sweden lost that match. So teams try to play quite quickly and bank some time for later in the game. And once again, the U.S., right after getting a break, cannot make a shot to keep the pressure on the other team.
Сила какая?
9, 9-5.
9-5, да.
Romanov with his second stone. His last shot here of the 6th end. Russia leads it 5-2. And they have the advantage of the hammer in this end as well. With that long stick, you really have to be careful you don't catch somebody in the side of the cheek with it. Good hit and stay. Russia lies 3, but the U.S. does have guards to draw around. If they can get hidden, they could definitely steal this end. It's a good setup for them. They cannot worry about the other stones right now. They're behind in the game. They have to count.
Yeah, I was
It's really gamble
2-2.
time.
Now I got to do it against 3. And there, because of that guard up there, I can't come this way to sit in this pocket unless we go really far out and have it just drop right in.
We don't have him.
You know what I mean?
Go sit
Well,
right in
Russia's lying 3, but I'm pretty sure the U.S. just has to ignore all that and go for it.
there in those two.
Yeah, but you gotta make a perfect shot, otherwise they're gonna end up with 4.
I mean,
I should be able to go down
the
and
double's there too.
Yeah, the problem with the double, though, it just doesn't get much.
just drop.
What about hitting that and rolling all the way over? I like that. Hit that and flip over. Yeah.
I say throw a 10.
I'm very
Right,
sure
put it on
that
the edge of the 4 and let me take a look at it.
Coach Steve Brown right now would be saying, draw, draw, draw.
No,
Get him
the other
behind. Get him behind. You
Other
can
side.
steal.
Put it on the edge of the 4.
Because they're going after that one. Why don't you go
What do you
sit in
thought?
that pocket? The two
There's not enough room to go inside out. It'll curl way over.
to sit on those two?
Oh yeah, we'd have to go this way and put the broom way outside the house.
You don't think it would go that way? No.
Oh no, there's not enough room.
Throw like a 10. Is it
10
gonna-
at it. Pop it.
And maybe you can get some of them out of there.
Get
too.
both or something.
I mean, we don't want to give them 4.
Oh, I know
Are
exactly.
you trying to take that one and roll?
Yeah, just a little flip.
Is that a counter?
All 3. Yeah, I think that one shot. But I mean, it's the highest.
just that you got a
it's
wider-
it's the highest one up too. So if I hit it thin enough, it might go all the way over to the other 2. You know what I mean?
And sit there?
All right.
It's either that or I try to open draw it.
Well, the thing is, if you go back to their team meeting before this
got
end,
it.
they said they absolutely
Okay,
had
edge
to
of the
steal a
4.
point.
Edge of the 4.
The way you do that is you draw. You draw in behind those 2 guards. That's why they're there. The U.S. Getting away from the
Sure you
strategy
don't wanna
they
come outside in?
they
You think
talked
they'll clear
about.
that guard and
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the first stone for the skip, Patrick McDonald, in this 6th end. Still has one left after this. Perhaps he'll draw in behind his next one. Playing the hit and roll. The contact hit stays right there, does not get in behind cover. The ice is good today. I think the players are really enjoying this ice. That's provided by the 2 excellent ice technicians, Scott Henderson of Edinburgh, Scotland, and Joachim Fritz of Baden-Baden, Germany. Those 2 gentlemen also made the ice for the World Wheelchair Championships here last year in Sochi at the test event.
Ты смести? Нет, не надо смещать.
Я говорю, пошире.
Вот я говорю, он не понимает, он думает, ты шками хочешь сдвинуть.
I'm just amazed by the Russian stick here, how it really manages to hold on to that stone. You look at the pulling back, and there's no loss of the grip on the handle of the stone at all. So
Шире катаешь, Андрей.
they're definitely onto something here. They just hope nobody else catches on.
Чуть-чуть пошире. Готов? Перспективненько идем.
The out-turn hit for Andre. Makes contact and will chip it far enough. The only 3rd shot stone. Russia's still lying 2.
Yeah, but I can't come this way because of this right here. You know what I mean?
I think it would make it with a.
I mean, I could come this way with
I think that
a
would
weight
make it.
and hit
Would you?
and flop right on top of them. No, if we came inside out with a takeout, I'd sit right where the broom is.
So halfway.
You know what I mean?
back.
Why not
There's
hit
definitely an opportunity for the U.S. to call a timeout here.
right
and
here?
bring their
and flop
coach
right
out.
here?
They have 1 timeout available.
Well, yeah, we need to do that. All right, put it right here.
jam man, Jimmy Joseph, looking to the sky for some help. Patrick just seeing some debris on the ice. And boy, curling stones don't like anything getting under their surface. They'll curl like
Sorry,
crazy.
there was some black stuff.
I really think you need to go outside in on this shot. Are you going for the outside one
Yeah.
or the inside one? Or the one closest to the...
No, we're going inside
Okay.
out, hitting the far left one and flopping right on top of those two. Because if we go the other way,
Okay, I didn't know if that one in the middle was shot. 'cause it
oh no, the far red one is, and
Okay.
then the red one, and then
It's
the
hard
other
to
red.
see down
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Well, if you're Russia back there, you're awfully happy that the U.S. isn't drawing behind the center guards. They could get right close to the button, and they could steal this end. And generally, that wouldn't be a smart shot, but when you trail at 5-2 and there's not too many other choices, this is the gambling point in the game. And Russia's awfully pleased that the U.S. isn't doing that gamble.
Come on,
Stone
curl.
is on its way.
Curl. Curl. Get a piece of it.
Hit on the back one, but it'll only be second shot Stone. Russia will have a draw for 2.
Щетка, сила какая.
2-5.
Ты возьми пошире.
So
если
no
что,
pressure put onto the Russian side there with that shot.
Да.
Давай, вези.
Шире надо, шире надо.
And they were probably standing back there saying, well, why is the U.S. not drawing around that center guard and going for the steal?
2-3. 2-5, 2-3. Чуть прокатишь. 2-5, ориентируйся.
It was one of those moments when you just had to take a chance in the game and go for it,
Так
but
что
2-2-5.
that's the experience of years of skipping. And so Russia now with a draw for 2. Good, well curled in by both teams. And there we see the pebble on the ice, and a beautiful shot there for camera, which actually shows the pebble. And curling stones do not like a totally flat surface. Hence, the ice is pebbled before the game.
Да?
Curling stones like to ride on the bumps called pebble,
Ладно,
and
2.
that provides a little bit of airflow underneath the stone. Stones do not like to slide very well when it's perfectly flat. So hence the pebble gives them a nice running surface. The throw here, the last stone of the 6th inning from Andrei Smirnov, the skip of the Russian team. There'll be a draw possibility for 2. Fans trying to cheer that stone on. But no, it stopped short, and I guess that strategy for the U.S. wasn't too bad after all. Only a single count for Russia, just the 1 point.
Ну не видит собака.
Нормально.
Я нормально так махнул.
Нормально выкинул.
Все, 3. Сколько было? 3-3?
Well, at least the U.S. held Russia to 1 there. It's a small moral victory, at least, in staying in this game. Russia leads it after 6 innings by a score of 6-2. And that'll be the U.S.'s turn to mount a comeback. The Russian fans doing all they could to get that last stone for Russian to slide further, but it refused to listen.
2-3.
2-3, 2-5.
Давай.
До тилайна постарайся. Время умотаться. Собери.
Russia, having scored, will play the opening shot of this 7th end. 2 ends left in regulation play. Should it be tied, there would be an extra end played to determine the winner. And this end, the way Russia's hitting, the U.S. will have to work real hard to establish a guard out in front into the free guard zone. They haven't been able to do that for the last 2 innings. They've been sliding into the rings and offering the chance for the Russian team to hit away. And of course, the Russians have been hitting very accurately. Russia would like this stone into the rings, not short, and that's really a favor for the U.S. right there. Giving the U.S. a guard that they can draw behind. Being 4 up.
Ну ладно, завяжем.
Russians would have liked that stone at least into the 4-foot area in the rings, where they could do some hitting. The U.S. would like a second guard in play now.
Another guy.
Skip. Patrick McDonald asking for an outturn. And Dave Palmer, the normal third of this team, playing lead today. That's a nice weight. The U.S. with a good setup here to start this 7th end of play. They trail it by 4, so they'll be hunting for a 3-ender. With that first stone, Russia did the U.S. a bit of a favor. Alexander Shvenko, the lead for this team, curling 71%, the highest amongst all the players on the sheet today. But with a miss on his first one, as he left that guard short. And this will also put another guard in play. Advantage U.S. if they can start making shots here now and get behind guards. They could really make it difficult for Russia. Dave Palmer will need more weight on this. Need to make a bit of an adjustment. An extra 15 feet of weight. Get into the rings behind cover. Right through the port. Oh, that's a very nice shot. Putting right in behind the corner guard. Not sure if Russia can see any of that stone. Perhaps just a quarter of it or so, but they'll go after it. They certainly could play an either or here. They get the stone in the rings or get the guard. Open it up.
Yay!
See the Russian skip. Smirnov keeping the ice quite tight, not far from the guard. There's Alexander. Plays quite a bit of weight on this stone. She definitely can throw a speed. Oh, nice hit and roll right in behind the center area. She's boosting her percentages up to 44% now. She really enjoys playing, has a lot of fun. Once again, we're seeing an end where the U.S. making some shots, but the Russians have the answer. Penny playing the intern. Finding guard trouble. And the Russian crowd cheering that shot as it raised the Russian stone into the rings. I would say these players from the U.S. have not experienced that type of thing in their curling lives so far. Where a miss would be cheered. But it is a new world of curling out there, so you have to go with it. And this sport of curling, like golf, originated from Scotland back in the 1600s. And of course, the Scottish were very, very adamant about the gentlemanness of a sport. And, you know, still in curling, there's a handshake to start the match, and there's handshakes to finish the match. And a compliment to the opposition for a good shot. Team drawing into lie 3. finding themselves having to play run back now. They're playing fast. U.S. with only 18 minutes on their clock, so they're trying to play a fast end here. Well, that's plenty of time to finish this end and also play the last end, the 8th end of regulation play. Penny Greeley, the birthday girl, opens it up and makes a good stick of that yellow raise onto a red stone. Nice shot, dual purpose shot.
Ну, я думал, ты.
Все уже.
A little surprised here that Russia isn't making a play on the yellow stone in the rings, although it's only third shot stone.
Да, что-то здесь не очень.
They are 4 up.
3-5-4.
3-5-4.
The theory when you're 4 up in a game is you just limit the amount the other team can count. You don't mind if they get 1, as long as they're not getting more than 1. The Russians staying offensive here. Staying right after the U.S. Playing another stone into the rings, a tap back. Another shot in the forefoot, right to the back button. Very nice weight there from Romanov. The Russian vice skip, playing 60%.
Вот я больной. Ну, вот видишь, 1-9, это был бы килай.
And the U.S. up to their ears here in red granite, needing a double. Fortunately for them, it is fortunate that Jimmy Joseph, he likes to throw the big weight. He's very accurate with it. He's 75% on his takeouts. He's 6 takeouts so far in this match. I just noticed there how he used a lot of force to push forward with that, with the shorter stick. A nice double, very nice shot. Just the way he had to push forward, that we've seen how the Russians are using the stick differently and really swinging it back and forth. Really nice shot by Jimmy.
My hand was aching. No kidding.
Well, Russia now thinking they better start hitting some stones. They don't have last shot in this end. This is really the first time we've seen in the game where the Russian skip is doing some heavy thinking. Really pondering what to do next. Looks like they will stay on the offense. An in-turn draw. Merritt is pulling the stone back and forth. Third has been close. Jimmy Joseph, once again for the U.S., has continued to play well in these championships.
9-5.
Stone might be in the rings. It was chipped over by the Russian team. Don't know if it's biting or not. We'll have to see on the overhead. Just short of the rings, and lucky for Russia, it went over and guarded that stone of theirs. Definitely a break for their side.
Bad thing is that that's wide open. I said the bad thing is that that's wide open. We can peel the guard, exposing this. What are they going to do? Guard it? Have we called the timeout yet? That was this morning, huh?
That timeout was this morning.
Yeah, without that being there, I was thinking if we hit this one here.
We're down 4. You gotta try it.
No, you'd still have to hit that one onto here.
Pat, what about a timeout?
USA will use their one timeout right here. The other timeout they used, as the skip said, was in the morning game.
No, I know that, but I'm trying to see what the.
A good time for a timeout. Coach Steve Brown will make his way to the ice. The players can talk strategy while they wait for Steve to arrive.
But see, you got to hit it on the inside.
Yeah.
So that way it hits on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do that, this one will stay, that one will shoot out, and that one should flip over. But if you, where's Steve? If you nose jam, if you nose that one and hit here, you're flopping over, and this one's gone.
We haven't seen Steve. There he is, Steve Brown, the coach of the team. Finally arrived on the scene. He has a quick look from behind just to get a good idea of
Yeah, you got to
the
play
situation.
the yellow rock into the red one. Because what you want to do is you want to expose that red one. In case he misses a guard, and you got a chance to put the ball on the board.
So what do you want
right here? So I think you got to hit it out here where the C is, and just drive it in there. So
Yeah,
probably.
but if it hits this one first, they're both gone.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
That's fine though.
Okay.
Because then you split it. Main thing is you're trying to expose the red
Exactly.
one in
That's
case he
what I'm
misses it.
trying to
Boom, boom, boom.
figure
So I
out
think
what the
about
best way to do is.
probably about a 10.5 maybe. Because you want to move a little thing. In case in case the yellow one hits the red one, you want to knock it out.
You don't want a 12, 13?
No. I think you want to keep them in play. Because if you just shove the 5 in there and open it up, then it might
Yeah,
be open
exactly.
for takeout.
Oh, just jam this
Just gonna
slowly
shove it in
into
there.
this and bump it in.
5 into the red, okay? Hit that
If
rock
it
into
clips
the red rock.
right, okay.
10
so you
and a
want to
half.
hit it right there.
10 and a half.
Jam.
Well, good advice from Steve Brown, a very experienced
He thinks it's going to go by.
player. He's played in many world championships for the U.S.
Yeah. Just
His daughter Erica was the skip of the U.S. women's team here in the Olympics.
just throw a 10 and a half. 10 and a half to half. Okay? 10 and a half is better. Okay?
And just the number system that they use for the amount of weight to be thrown for a removal shot. They're saying 10 and a half in their number system. And pretty much every team has a different number
like that,
system
bro?
they would use, or different hand signals they'll use for indicating how much weight to be thrown.
Just think about what a 10 and a half
Jimmy
feels
playing
like,
at a 79% pace on his takeouts. He's had a good hitting game. The Russians were a little fortunate when they missed their last shot, sending this YOLO over and guarding their own. But the U.S. can make up for that with a good shot right here.
Score more.
Jimmy taking his time. A little less weight than they wanted, but he will stop back 8 foot for second shot stone. So not all bad. It's a potential counter for the U.S., and they do need points. They just have to figure out a way to make that red stone of Russia's evaporate.
Этот стоит. 2 будет лучше.
А они что будут делать тогда? Ну ладно, все равно бьем.
Да.
Если что, даже рольчик может туда отскочит.
Ну.
Да нам просто хоть куда лишь бы. В лоб нам желательно, да?
Да, в лоб.
9?
9. Так, щетка.
So far, Russia allowing the U.S. to build an
Конец
in.
дома
Да
все-таки.
нет, дома. Давай чуть пошире, тут хорошо вваливает. Вот так.
Russia has missed a couple of stones in this end. All of a sudden, the U.S. has 3 possible counters in the rings. Russia has to be
Что,
careful
девятки,
here.
нормально все?
One more miss, they could really be in trouble.
А, Саня?
Ты его центрально сбить?
Да? Нам на envelope ему прийти.
Сам?
Может, ты поближе к камню, потому что мы
держи.
так бросали, он не
Да,
очень
да.
подваливает.
Тут же конец дома с этой стороны хорошо
Ну,
валит.
ничего, не знаю. Я поставил чуть
Чуть-чуть
поуже.
поближе.
Да нормально, я 9-5 кину. Держи.
Хорошо.
Держу. Знаешь, можешь, сделаешь.
You знаешь, that means do you know? Yes, I understand a little bit, not all.
Хорошо?
Playing hit weight. A beautiful shot by the Russian skip as he hits and stays. And fans in this ice cube love that shot. The host nation, Russia, really supporting their team.
Well, we can
Big
try that
weight
again.
and the inside roll.
Bad thing is that
Perfect
with that
shot.
being back there
Alexander
like that,
loved it.
You know what I mean? What do you think? I mean, that one back there hurt us. Maybe we should just draw a couple in. Just draw in down here. Because you got the guard. Just draw a couple in. You know what I mean? Let's just draw a couple in. See if we can't get, just see if we can't get a couple in. Yeah.
Yeah, still a chance for two here for the U.S. They can make a real good draw on
Put it on
this
the
one
edge
and
of the
force
eight.
a miss out of Russia.
Edge of the 8.
They still have a chance to count the deuce. Tighten up the score.
That shot's still there with the 13. If you look at the angles,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like that.
Want to try it? Because it's either that or draw a couple in. You know, we only got 2 stones and we're down 4. You know, if we don't get 2 on this one, then then what? Just draw a couple in. But then again, I gotta
Right now they're set 2.
Yeah, they are.
So you draw in. They
On top
take
of
you
theirs?
out.
No, I would draw in on top of that one.
Okay.
Then they'll just draw.
Well, this is a good call. That's a very difficult angle on the raise up in front.
What? What do you think? Do that again? We need more than we need 2 here. Talk to me, sweetie. What do you think?
I mean, the most we're going to get is 2 if you draw it.
Most we're gonna
And
get
if
is
we're
2
lucky.
on that over there too. Because
You
with
don't
that
think
with
that
that
we can get-
no with that red one that they just put back there, it's gonna jam.
All right, I thought maybe there was a double there with that angle. If you hit like a 13 on that, on where you were going to hit it before. Remember we were talking a little bit on
Yeah.
the inside, but
Jam, you want to try it again?
I don't know. I don't want to change the call. I can't see the angles, so I don't want to screw you up.
Jam, just put it back. No. Draw, Jam. Is it there?
I think it's there.
All right. If you think it's there, then I'll do it. Watch your hand. I just
Okay.
hit your hand.
Well, change of the call here. Play the run back.
Are you coming on the? You're coming on the inside, so it's curling. He needs to be in the middle of the 12 for it to curl.
Right there. Right there.
The problem with this shot is that the second
You're
yellow
gonna have to throw.
right in front of the red is just not sitting on a very good angle, making the shot much more difficult. Chip for the skip from USA. Doesn't get that one out. And just a rub on the guard, and that one did really curl hard.
I don't know.
Jam really curled the first time.
Well, yeah, Jam also threw
Too
like
light.
it.
To a 9
Do you
or
think
10.
that was
he
a
threw.
13?
It was more.
Well, the Russian team now selecting to play a guard in this area. They also could play the in-turn draw right in the 4-foot area.
Это может, если даже в начало дома заедет, тоже нормально.
Ну да. Надо закрыть главное. Что сила? Сколько? 3?
Да, как закрыть. Андрей, ты не бойся, лучше вези.
Да я понял. Лишь бы их не играть. Ну что он там? Мудрит что-то.
Well, there are a couple options here. They could play the in-turn draw into the 4-foot area. They could guard.
Вези 12.
А я не наиграю на 12, на такой счет в их никогда.
Поставь чуть уже так.
Не, я
Never
ставлю
see the Russian team with
ближнего
that
этого, среднего.
extra long stick they use, and seems to really grab the stone real well as they pull it back and forth, the overcoming inertia real well, get the rock moving and rocking.
Чуть пошире.
The system is working very, very well for them. Sure enough, curling 58%, winning the skip position. Draw coming right into the 4-foot area. And the Russian fans absolutely loving what they're seeing from their team in this game. USA trailing it by 4, now has only a chance for 1.
All the way out to the 12. Like, not quite that far.
Jam, right there, right there.
There's the brush being placed by Jimmy the Jam Man. And Patrick McDonald will play the out turn. Has to be good here to come up with a single point as he faces 3 Russian counters. Plenty of speed. Will it curl over enough for him? The rub and the roll. Yes, a beautiful shot right onto the button. And even the Russian fans give a good clap for the USA on that shot. It was a beautiful stone. Right onto the Paralympic logo. 1 count for the USA. Keeps them in the game going into the 8th end. Never know. They need to steal 3. It's been done before. The stone used the rub off the side red, going right to the pin, covering the logo for a single point. So after 7 ends of play, Russian Federation with control of this match by a score of 6-3 over the U.S. And it's been a packed house cheering on the Russian team. And most definitely it has been wonderful to see the support that the Russian fans have given to wheelchair curling, and then also before that, curling during the Olympics. The country has really fallen in love with the sport. And I have seen everywhere many people talking about curling. Many of them discovering it for the first time. Many of them not understanding it yet, just learning as they go.
There you go, Dave.
Palmer with the opening shot of this 8th end. The U.S. needs to steal 3 to tie this match up. They'll need to start with some guards in play. There's a beginning. Just need that short of the ring. Stone that they could draw behind. See what Russia will do here. Some options here. They might just decide to throw this one away and not use it. Really for them right now, the fewer stones in play, the better.
Я засекаю.
And that's what they'll do. They'll just cast this one away. Not needing to count anymore. They just need to do damage control. Keep the U.S. from building an end. They couldn't make a play on that guard because it's in the free guard zone.
9-4.
They could chip it over, but that wouldn't do much good. They can't totally remove it from play until after the
Are you
fourth
guarding?
stone of the end.
We need to be.
I had him here. He came out here.
Palmer curling 53% in this game. Had better draw weight. He struggled with his draw weight so far in this event, as have the U.S. as a team. And we heard Patrick, the skip, say he must have left his draw weight at home. But he had it very good on the 7th end, coming up with a single point. And sometimes with draw weight, it's just a matter of convincing yourself. Obviously, the speed of this ice is different than it was during the World Championships here last January. So it's a matter of adjusting. Russia throwing both the lead stones away. They will be able to hit with their next. Now, the two thrown stones away do not calculate into a player's percentages.
5-6.
They're just recorded as a non-shot. Penny playing the in-turn draw behind. This is looking very good. And that's what the U.S. wanted, is to get some guards in play. Get some stones in behind cover. So happy birthday, Penny. 43 years old today.
Держи, Сань.
Oksana
Нужен плед.
Slarenko, also 43 years old. And we've seen her throw the big weight. It's a real hard push on that stone. And does the job there. It was an either or. Either get the stone in the rings or chip off the guard. And the free guard zone rule are no longer in effect, so Russia can peel those stones off.
Penny, I wouldn't mind a little split roll. 7.
Well, it's definitely a numbers game now for U.S. They need a break here. They need Russia to miss some wide open takeouts. Penny playing the intern would like to chip her own stone, perhaps get it in behind the guard and roll over with her shooter. Penny, who won bronze in 2004 in Paralympic sitting volleyball in Athens. You see that one just slide through the rings for her. She wanted a little extra weight to do the split, but needed contact with the stone in the rings. Didn't quite get it. Oksana now 52%. She's brought up her numbers steadily.
Ну а какая разница, Оксан? Клир он хоть с какой стороны? Клир. Но тут...
She likes to throw hard. That one sails right through the port. Doesn't make contact with the guard or the stone in the ring.
9-4.
Same thing, Jam. 7-8 split.
Just a normal 7.
The U.S. needing to count 3 here without last stone on this end. They're presently sitting 1 with 4 stones to come. They need to count just about everything they have available. Jimmy Joseph, the 51-year-old third for this team. Generally they're second, but playing third today. Doesn't quite get the chip, but he does get the bury in behind the corner guard. That is a good shot. Definitely will help. Merritt, Romanov in the third. Team Russia putting 55%. He's had a strong game, very steady throughout. And look at the long stick those Russian players are using. Definitely something different we haven't seen with other teams. Is it the magic wand? Another stone right through the port. It finds a hole. Wow, the U.S. is not out of this game yet.
Focus on that broom.
Try the split again.
Exact same weight.
Even that same draw around the corner from Jimmy.
Okay?
Well, the jam man is alive. He's still making shots. We need Russia to miss a couple more. For Jimmy, it's his third Paralympics. He's played in 7 previous World Championships for the U.S. Very consistent player. Really enjoys the game as well. A little rub and he goes in behind the corner guard. That works nicely. The U.S. for the first time in this match, line 3. Let's see what Russia comes up with. They do have a timeout available if they decide to use it. Looks like they'll huddle and talk. This is the first end. They've had 2 misses in a row.
Эту пару ударим.
Ну давай, да. Куда сместишься? Щетка. Так.
Он под конец что-то виляет, собака. Я думал, нормально идет, а под конец мимо него прошел. Ну давай, давай. Наводи на нее.
Well, I heard the word normal in there somewhere, meaning the normal take-up. Wait. The U.S. mounting a charge in this last end of regulation play. U.S. trails it by a score of 6-3. They only have 4 minutes left on their clock. Well, it's still plenty of time to play their last 2 stones at this end. If it goes to an extra end, they get a fresh clock. Merritt getting some support for this throw. They'll rock that stone back and forth. It's on its way. Not sure if he got a real good turn on it. He did a little bit loose on the throw. Wow, he left all those stones in the rings though. He just chipped. The U.S. still lying 3. Well, this match now far from over.
I wouldn't mind tapping that back, so put it this far outside the 8. Right there.
Oh, this would really be something if the U.S. could tie this up.
Another one right next to that.
This is an important shot to get into the rings. The guard is not the ticket here. The shot should be in the rings, tapping that back. Make the Russians look at 4.
Yep.
Just keep piling them in the rings. Lob another one in there. Jimmy Joseph urging his skipper on. And McDonald, a picture of concentration. Could be getting just a little bit slower in that center sliding track where the pebbles begins to flatten out. Let's see if this one has the legs. Just comes up short. Not too bad though. It's a guard. Does get a little bit slower in that path as the pebble flattens out right along the center line.
Или через этого ролик отрежем.
And the bad part for Russia, the
Послушай,
guards in front are
отрежем
yellow.
тот.
Так.
If they run into a guard, Could be raising another stone into the ring.
Тайм-аут возьмем. Успокоить.
It's Alexander and Oksana look on.
Да, возьмем тайм-аут.
Timeout being called by Russia. They do have one stone on the side they could see. They could take a run at that one, or the one right on the center line.
Марат предлагает от этого сюда поймать ролл.
Ну, что этот открыт, что этот открыт. Единственное, закрытый вот этот. Но если от этого ловим, он будет, отрезает тот и недоступен вообще. Ну, только через промоушен, через 2. Это уже у них один камень только остается, на это на все. И у нас один в запасе.
Got a hammer. Okay.
Coach Anton
Yeah, because we got one last time.
Betugan
No, I know.
approaching the scene.
Take a look at what's there.
Предлагаю ролик от
Да,
этого.
я видел. Лучше не надо. Лучше от верхнего.
Потом,
потому
если
что-
что, этот, да?
Ну, тут закрыто, они что-нибудь толкнут, следующим будет закрыто. Верхний оставишь свой там. Если что, накатишь его потом. Они что-нибудь с ним будут делать, толкать, ну, или бить, что-нибудь сюда отлетит.
Нам надо свой стенд, либо чтобы этот сюда пошел пробить.
Двойной тут так сложно.
Не, Андрюх, снимай
Можно?
лучше одного. Тут два, лед плохо
стейн.
очень катит.
Снимай стейн, потом его накатишь. Аккуратнее.
А они что будут делать? Сюда
Они
тащить?
куда-нибудь третий, конечно, им же третий нужен будет. Они куда-нибудь будут тащить или свой накатывать.
Ну,
Но
это
это
стоит,
главное,
да?
чтобы свой
Мы
остался
снимаем
открытым.
этот все равно
Дырка
торчит.
будет куда вести, так что все нормально.
Давай.
Поехали.
Верхний.
Так, но он реально виляет под конец.
Да не, просто ужики дай. Поэтому виляет.
Уже кидаем, понятно.
Он
Well,
стоит
they'll
на
make a
крайне
play
дома.
on the
Да, нормально будет.
stone on the center line. But with a hit there, they will not be third. They will not be second shot. The U.S. would still be counting 2. Be up for the U.S. to make a raise in for 3.
Нет, подержать.
And that was a big shot missed there by Patrick McDonald. He had a chance to get a 4th counter in the rings. That would have really applied extra pressure. As he said, he left his draw weight at home in Madison, Wisconsin. He's left Russia with a chance here to make a hit on the center stone. Anything inside could be trouble. There's guards to run into. Good hit and an inside roll. Good enough to be 3rd shot stone. The U.S. is lying 2. That's about all Russia could have hoped for out of that shot.
We can't do anything this way because it'll jam. Yeah? No, because is it out counting that?
We have the advantage of the overhead. The players don't.
We throw a 12 at our front one there in front of it.
Okay, we're sitting 2.
Draw
Yeah.
one in behind.
Yeah, they
Just
are
draw
sitting
in.
2.
Draw one in. We need 3 in the house. We can't.
Or do we?
We hit that top one and shoot them out.
I don't know if we'd
Then
be,
Or
we're
do we
gonna,
try to
we're gonna, we might
drop
be
that?
in.
Raise
no,
that
I don't
one?
know if we'd be in.
We got
I
2.
know.
We got 2. I know I am. We got 2.5
I
minutes.
think
We're
you
fine.
better draw it in
All right.
behind them.
Well, those are the 2 options,
Looks like
okay?
we're out counting that.
No, not if we nose it.
Yeah, we would draw, we would,
All right. Middle of the 12.
Well, the easier shot is definitely the draw in
You see that
behind the
front
red
stone?
one. It's always
If we
tougher when
hit-
you have to raise a stone,
What
a
front
yellow
stone,
one
honey?
into the
Our-
rings.
our yellow one,
Yeah.
shoot theirs that way and will ours go in.
It's. Oh yeah. If we hit it right, it's
What are
either
you
that
guys
or draw.
thinking,
We're
draw?
sitting. Yeah, we're sitting 1 and 2.
So you thinking draw?
We out counting those 2?
Yeah, we're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So you think draw?
Draw one in behind that red.
Let's just
Tuck
draw.
it in right
Is that what
behind
you
it.
think?
U.S.
Yeah.
have to be
Dave, we
careful.
can
They don't
draw?
have a lot of
Yeah.
time on
Let's
their
go draw.
clock.
Draw right in.
Just draw.
Down to
It's really slow. It just
129.
means I got to put something
But
on
still
it.
Behind
time.
that.
Yep. We're sitting 1 and 2.
No need to hit the red one. The U.S. is already counting 2. The red one is only third shot stone.
No, we definitely got the crowd quiet, huh?
We've got a minute 12.
We saw in a match where Sweden ran out of time, was unable to complete their last stone. Forfeited the match right there.
Not yet, honey. Not yet.
The U.S. taking their time. 45 seconds on their clock.
$11 seconds.
Final stone of the 8th in is on its way for Team USA.
Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
A little rub and roll into the open. Wow, if it got by, that would have really been terrific. And it will leave Russia an open hit for the win.
9.
The U.S. line 3. This stone lost a bit of its handle halfway down. Didn't have enough spin to stay straighter. And that happens when the ice flattens out a little bit later in the game. It was very nice weight from the U.S. skip. Now, the only way we get a tie here is the U.S. is praying for a miss. From Andrei Smirnov, the skip of Team Russia. And the audience hush goes over the crowd as prepares for this final stone of the 8th end. Taking his time.
Хорошо.
Yeah, he makes the hit, and the U.S. will only get 2. A great attempt by the U.S. to steal the game. And the Russian team celebrates the win. And the U.S. waited a long time to really get it going in this match. Put the pressure on in that 8th end, almost stole it. It would have been more interesting had U.S. got their first stone into the rings. I mean, lying 4, that would have applied extra pressure. The Russian Federation survives the scare in the 8th end to win it by a score of 6-5 over the United States. It's a gallant attempt by the U.S. to steal 3, and only stole 2. Made it close. And the Russian team waving to their fans, appreciative of the support. And their 4-1 record after this win has them looking good and perhaps playoff bound. Here in Sochi, 2014 Paralympics, and wheelchair curling. And Jimmy applauding the crowd as well. It's a fun, packed house to play in front of, no doubt. Russia with slightly the better average today. 58 compared to 55% of the U.S. on takeouts. The U.S. played well the last half of the game after they'd struggled early on. It was a great crowd today. Wow, they were really into this game between Russia and the U.S. And their team, the host country, Russia, came away with the win. Now we look at the standings. Canada leads it 4-0. They're the defending gold medal champions from 2010 and 06. Russia right in behind at 4-1. Great Britain, Slovakia 3-1. U.S. now drops to 1-4. And they'll have to work hard to make the playoffs. Whereas the Russian team is looking good, and the home crowd giving them a lot of help. Well, high fives for the Russian team as they get the win here. And from wheelchair curling at the Paralympics in Sochi, Russia, 2014, a great match between Russia and the USA. Russia had an early 3-0 lead. The USA came fighting back, trailed it by 5-1. And in the final eighth into play, it looked like the U.S. might steal the game, but they only stole 2, not the 3 they needed to send this game into overtime. So Russia wins it by a score of 6-5, moves to a record of 4-1. USA drops to 1-4. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.